So with the patch EA dropped just the other day, they not only breathed some life back into those Flexbone offenses, introduced some new wingbone formations, they also brought back potentially my favorite playbook in all of college football 25, the UNLV GoGo offense. Now the GoGo did live on in the generic spread and generic spread option formations, but they're called duo. Now we don't have to worry about using those. We have got a full just copy and paste of UNLV's playbook from last year. And yeah, do you wish there was some new stuff in there? Of course, but I loved the playbook as it was, so I'm just glad we have the full thing back. Because as much fun as the GoGo sets actually are, to me what made the playbook so good was what else they had in there as well. And I do want to note, I did look in Dynasty and Ultimate Team, and as of August 8th, I haven't seen it in there yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be coming if it's in here. So just a quick heads up on that. So today we are just going to go over kind of my favorite things in each of the 4 GoGo sets, as well as just a quick overview of the type of players I want in each spot to run this offense. I have a way I like to do it. I'm sure you have a way you might like to do it. That's totally fine. We can have different opinions on these things. We can still get along. We can still be friends. Then we're also going to look at outside of the GoGo why I like this playbook so much. It's just the best. It's just so much fun. So first, let's take a look at the depth chart. Is weirdly, I do think UNLV is much better suited to run the GoGo in College Football 26 than they were in College Football 25, and of course now it is gone. Like starting right away at quarterback, we got 89 speed Alex Orgy with Shifty and Magician. Now I know Brendan Marion, who did create the GoGo offense, was the offensive coordinator at UNLV, now the head coach at Sacramento State, did say you don't really need a mobile quarterback for this offense to work, but in my opinion, it is certainly going to help, at least in the game, because it's a lot of triple options, it's a lot of quarterback runs, so having somebody with 89 speed is going to help that a ton. What we don't love about Alex Orgy, though, I wouldn't totally blame you for putting in Colandrea, the Virginia transfer name. I'm so bad with names, it's disgusting. Is the throw accuracies. Alex Orgy 70, 71, and 63. So if you did want to use this with UNLV, and it is something you could do in a dynasty too, is run a more of a 2 quarterback system. It does, if you're going against other people, kind of give away a little bit of what you're doing, but as long as you mix in some passes with Orgy and some passes with your backup, I think you'd mostly be okay being able to get away with that. But having at least one quarterback with abilities like this is going to help us a ton. If you're not familiar with a GoGo, you will see why when we get into these formations. Now at halfbacks, what I like to do, and what UNLV actually does have, is an elusive bruiser, like a head first armbar, big power back, and a faster, shiftier playmaker. Then I'll set them to have the bruiser at 1 and the speedier guy at 2, which will make sense when we get to the first GoGo actual formation here. Wide receiver, they're actually set up really well here too. We want one really speedy, shifty guy because there are a ton of RPOs in this playbook. So having somebody we can get the ball to quick and get it to him in space and let him just go make moves is going to help us a ton. And then we love having a big physical wide receiver here too, 6'4", 215, somebody who's actually be able to get blocks on those RPOs and a lot of the outside runs we're going to try to do. The only thing, maybe we could use one more, because we do have a couple 2 wide receiver sets in this, but overall UNLV actually sets up really, really well to run the GoGo in my opinion. Offensive line, the only thing I really would try to target is probably agile guards, because in some of the better run plays in these formations, they are going to be pulling. So having guards who can actually get out there and do that well, I think is going to help you a ton. But anyway, let's get into it. GoGo offset over, not called the duo in this one. We're back just in the GoGo, baby. So what's great about specifically this offset over formation, but really quite a few of them, is how they line up is going to tell you a lot about their defense, and it's going to throw their alignment and everything just kind of out of whack. We've got all 5 receiving options are on our right side here with our tight end, our 2 receivers, and our 2 backs. So now in this, like I said, we have our power back as halfback 1. He's the one right next to the quarterback in this. Then our speedy slot guy will be in this spot, and then our faster halfback will be on the outside, and our physical wide receiver out wide to the right, because of plays like we see immediately here. RPO alert bubble, where if we throw it, it's going to our 93 speed shifty with the big 6'4" guy in front helping to block for him, or we keep it as a run with our power back up the middle. We have some triple options, play actions. This first page pretty much encapsulates about everything we're going to see in the GoGo playbook. RPOs, play actions, triple options. Get used to seeing those. Now the sprint halfback throwback can be pretty good against the right defense. I just personally have never had good success with screens, so I don't really mess with those too much. We got another RPO in there. Now the best run play last year, and probably still going to be the best play in the GoGo, is this G load option out of offset over. We'll go ahead and give that a call, because the way this option is going is the way all of our players at. We got 2 receivers out there to block. We got a tight end block. We got our outside back also blocking. This is an instance where maybe you could switch the two. You want your bigger bruiser back actually going to make some blocks for you, but we've got numbers on this. And like I was saying, it can tell you a lot about their defense. They're in a zone coverage here because that cornerback on the right. So we know 100% this is zone. We could audible to a pass play. I didn't actually set any audibles, but a play we'll talk about in a second would be perfect because we know we'd have somebody open knowing they're in a zone coverage. But we will just run the G load option going out to the left here, and then we can pitch it. And then the numbers set up perfectly, and then you can just hit those. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to defend this play. I really don't. Because there's just, we got too many guys. We just got too many guys out there. I'm actually going to look at the replay of that one, because that was just, I didn't even have to do anything. We just ran straight left, and we were gone. Now, tight end blocking. Number 20 blocking, 2 receivers blocking, obviously offensive line, and a pulling guard. Remember, I said they're going to be pulling on some of the best runs. This is really the one I had in mind. So our left guard pulls. Number 30 grabs that edge. Our inside receiver goes and cracks that guy. Number 20 is going to go get that outside corner. Our outside receiver, 6'4", 215 pounds, is going to go block that safety. And they just don't, there's nothing they can do to get over there. With how their defense was lined up, we've got all these blockers. That safety up on the top right and that corner on the right are essentially just out of the play immediately. That edge rusher on our right, essentially out of the play immediately. And it's just easy. As long as your guys are holding your blocks, this run is unbelievable, especially with an 89 speed quarterback like Orgy. I love that play. Gosh, I love that play. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going through. But that's going to be probably the best play in all of GoGo. That G-load option is just so good. You also have a regular load option, which works pretty much the same. You just don't have that guard pulling to the outside, too. These alert halfback flats, these are going to be in every GoGo or just about every GoGo. And those can be really, really good, too, especially... It can go either way. We'll talk about it in offset over week here too. But when it's out of this formation, you've got the blockers in front. That's going to help out too. It can be a little bit tougher to make the read sometimes just because that's a lot of where the defense is. Some just classic runs up the middle, a little halfback punch. And then these 3 plays here. A fantastic group of 3. Zone toss, so that is going to our power back, which I don't love so much, but then we have fake toss verticals. Now this play is the reason why I like setting it up like I do in the backfield, because we want our faster guy to be on that wheel route. Again, just judging by their defense, this does look to be more of a man, so you could put RB just like on a drag or a little bit more of a man beater route. But if you have time, and it is man coverage, Glover, our faster halfback, is probably going to burn whoever he is manned up with, and Lee has a good chance of getting open on this too, just because of he's probably going to be manned up, if I had to guess, by that middle linebacker right above our center. So you could just even put him on something to get him out to the flats a little bit quicker, but we don't need to do that. I'm actually just going to reset the play here because I was doing a little too much. But yeah, just something like a drag. And then, do we trust our 6'4" guy to win on a streak? Maybe. You could put him on something like that, and that's going to help open up that wheel underneath here as well. Let's see, it is man. Wheel, terrible throw. Just a terrible throw, Alex. My God. And now we can safely assume this is zone because we see that left corner just out in no man's land. So right away, I'm looking at one of the halfbacks on this. I don't think there's really any zone coverage that's going to be able to guard both of the halfbacks right off the rip. So we can just boom, right to the halfback. Easy 8 yards. At least Orgy can make that throw, which is good news. Again, this is 100% zone. It has to be. There's a slot corner over there. There's an outside corner over there. If they were manned up, even if they are, for whatever reason, if they're in a shell or something and this is man coverage, whoever they're manned up on is wide open. So this is definitely going to be a zone. We just need X to get out. So that zone followed the wheel route, so then that leaves our other halfback underneath. There's just no way you can guard both of those if you're in a zone coverage. Back in man, we already saw that. That's probably my favorite thing with the GoGo, is it just tells you what defense they're in. Because even if you come out in like a run, have an RPO as an audible, so if they are in one of those zone looks, you can just switch right to that. Or the fake toss verticals. Like offset over is such a good formation. So, but now we will move over to offset over weak. Our little sidecar of the two halfbacks is actually moving to the left side, and they flip positions here. So now we have our bruiser halfback on the outside, our speedier halfback on the inside, which, I mean, with this specific team, it doesn't really make a huge difference, but I still don't really love that. But we have another read halfback flat. This can be really, really good. This is essentially a triple option because it's a read RPO, so we can just hold A and keep this with Orgy, which I'm gonna do here and just hope for the best. I'm not reading a thing. It's actually the right key. I mean, we could have thrown that too. But with that halfback going out, you have the threat of running it up the middle. You have the threat of keeping with Orgy. This can be a really, really good play here too. I was just keeping it with Orgy again. But again, we could have thrown that to X. That was definitely getting open. I want to throw one to X. I can't this time. Keep it. Go, Joe. Why did I call him Joe? We're going to see if we can't get X. Yeah. And against a lot of zone coverages too, unless they have hard flats out there. A lot of time you're going to be able to still throw that. And then with it being your bruiser back, it's not the worst thing here either. Because hopefully he can just go in and actually break some tackles. See, then that guy crashed inside. And then that leaves us one-on-one, and you can just truck him with your power back. This looks to set up decently for a throw. Then just break one tackle. With it being the power back, I'd be a little bit more risky on throwing those and just hoping he's going to be able to break a tackle. Armbar. Yeah, buddy. Armbar. All right. If you somehow have made it this far into the game and don't know, stiff arm everybody. Just mash A. You're gonna break so many tackles. But that's a fun little play. And we just have more play actions, more RPOs, more runs up the middle. A load option going out to the left here is an interesting one. Again, this is gonna depend a lot on what defense they're in. But with that number 2 going up to be our lead blocker here, as long as we get decent blocks from our line. Oh, I pitched that way too early. I didn't trust him. That's on me. I didn't have the faith in you to actually go get that block. That's my bad, buddy. But yeah, with how the defense lines up, and if... Yeah, that was really late. If that left tackle can actually get that left edge, and then number 2 can go seal the edge. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And then just get out with Orgy. Exactly like that. That's exactly the look we want to see. That's exactly the blocking we want to see. It helps out that the left end just decided to crash inside here, so the tackle picks him up. Number 2 gets second level, and then the safety just kind of dumbs out, runs straight down, and we got the speed with Orgy. We take that edge. Touchdown, Rebels. Touchdown, GoGo offense. So outside of that, there's not a ton I personally run out of over week. I mean, to me, the main benefit of over is we have all 5 guys on one side. Now we kind of balance that back out with going to over week. Next up, we have GoGo offset. We're just taking the tight end off the field, adding a slot wide receiver. More of the same, though. RPOs, inside zones, play actions. That's going to be a lot of what we're seeing here. Slip screen. They do have some better just kind of standard pass plays in here. There's another alert halfback flat. Speed option. It's going to be a lot of options. I do want to see, though, last year, this jet touch pass was really, really good. Now, I know in 26, they have really dumbed down the jet sweeps because of how good they were. But now we have Earl, our 93 speed shifty, coming in motion, getting this jet pass. Our 2 halfbacks on the right, both going out to block. I'm curious to see how this works this year. Not great. Where did our halfbacks go on that? Where did that guy even come from? We're just testing things out here. That's what a lot of these videos are. Oh, our right tackle just got obliterated. And morphed right through those guys. Okay. Yeah, that's going to make it tough. But then number 2 actually did a good job picking him up. I don't know where number 20 was going. But number 2 did a good job after that guy destroyed our right tackle there. Our other halfback did a good job picking up the pieces. But are they going for the edge? No. Whoa. Whoa. That speed burst was insane. Okay, if we can get that speed burst, we don't need much of a gap to be able to actually run this. How did we get that? How did that happen? I'm gonna see if I can make it happen one more time here. Just ran straight into the guy. Just want to get that speed burst one more time, man. That was crazy. I'm gonna try this once more. There he goes. So if we can figure out how to consistently get that speed boost, maybe that runs something. But yeah, the blocking on jet sweeps just isn't quite what it used to be, I don't think. So I don't know about that one. But that does open up these other jet motion plays too. The halfback seam is good. A lot of the streaks on your outside halfback are going to be really, really good on a lot of pass plays. You hot route streaks pretty much anytime you're passing the ball, honestly, and you'll be able to find something. Now GoGo slot open moves that slot receiver over to the right. Now we got 4 guys on the right, 1 on the left. Not as much of an overload, obviously, as the regular offset over, but pretty dang close. Again, we got a run, a play action, and a triple option, a play action rollout. Again, with Orgy, I was going to say it could be good with Orgy, but with his throwing stats, maybe not so much. More play action, more RPOs, a lot more of the same that we have seen a lot of. But this is another one where like this load option could be really, really good because we have 2 receivers out to block there. We have that second halfback on the outside going out to block there as well. The spot lead swing is kind of interesting. I will call this one really quick. I'm trying not to make this one super long, but it might be. Because Y is actually going to go out and become a lead blocker for A. So it's the same swing concept, but now we have both the outside guys on the right actually going out on routes, not just being blockers. Gives you a little bit more flexibility and more options of what you want to do. I'm just going to try and okay, he actually went and made that block. That was nice. I just kind of want to see how it works, but having that corner route on Earl, that little spot route on Bradley, and having that swing underneath, I really think is a very solid combination. Okay, no pass interference there. No pass interference there. Just threw that with too much anticipation, I guess. I just wanted to see. So we got the spot route, and I was going to try to playmaker A and just see how that went. But then even in a situation like that, we can roll out with Orgy, and we have another blocker out in front. You're going to go block that guy, right? Yes. You really, you never know. You can really never know. So that's a nice little play there too. I think having those 2 outside guys on spot lead swing makes it better than halfback swing. I just think having that flexibility of what you want to do makes it a little bit better. Then another read halfback flat. Sure, why not? Wouldn't be a GoGo set without those. Okay, so that is the 4 main GoGo sets. I think there's, like I said, it's a ton of runs, a lot of options. I think you do need a fast quarterback. No disrespect, Mr. Marion, but I do think you need a good mobile quarterback to be able to make this work. Now, where you might want to take him out is in some of these sets. Like, I think split slot open is the one I liked. There's one I liked more than the others. Yes, and I could tell right away because it has backs cross. That play is unbelievable. Absolutely cook man coverage. I'll put A on a post or something usually if we're doing that. And the runs out here, they're pretty much all you're going to want to flip. They're almost all going to work better going right to the left than they are left to right. But now we have a midline read option here too, a load option to go outside. We're kind of a little bit like the GoGo. We do have that halfback on the left to go out and be a blocker as well with our 2 wide receivers out there. So this is, I mean, it's kind of an extension of the GoGo. It's just instead of the 2 backs being on one side, now they're actually split. But you do have some good passing options out of there too. Speaking of good passing options, the rest of this playbook. This is why I said I liked this playbook so much more than just using like spreaders, the spread option that has the duo sets in it. You have things like cluster halfback strong with post dig, these are flipped, verticals, mesh post, flanker drive, Z spot. Ton of great pass plays in that formation with some good just standard runs in there too. Spread double flex is always gonna be one of my favorite formations too. I just love a good spread set. Inside cross, much like we saw with a backs cross, having that little mesh between your halfback and a slot receiver in this one. Other one was both your halfbacks. Gonna kill man coverage all pretty consistently. And then trips X nasty, another really, really good passing set too. Wide receiver smash, cross shot, high-low dig, verticals, slot fade wheel, high-low cross. And that's not even my favorite part of this playbook. That's down here in pistol. This Full House Twins Over is a great goal line set because much like the GoGo, it is going to tell you what kind of defense they're in because of where the receivers and everybody's lined up. Usually you can tell pretty easily, and if they are in man, you can just run something like this off tackle, zone read, anything going to the left. If you're within like the 5, you're going to score on that. But the main reason I love this playbook, and this is something we actually just used a lot in our campus tour with Vandy, pistol bunch. For whatever reason, this has been like my favorite passing formation last year. So far been pretty good for me here this year too. Corner strike, great against man coverage. That corner route he's on is very sharp, and usually he'll beat his man on that break. Seattle, just the verticals, very, very good. Flanker drive, just put a post on A and you can streak your halfback. You're looking great there. Really good runs too with zone, and counter's not bad, but zone and inside zone split are probably gonna be your best too. And this PA deep in is a good bomb play too against the right coverages. Just, I don't know if I trust Orgy to actually make like any of these throws, but the flanker drive, the one thing with pistol though that you do have to keep in mind is what side. If you do the halfback streak on here, which a lot of people do, it depends where on the field you are on which side he's gonna go. If I remember right, I might be remembering that wrong and he just always goes on the left, but I'm gonna test that because I don't remember and I forgot to move the ball. I just did a choose new play because I'm an idiot. But I want to say in pistol, it might always go left, actually. Let's move it over here. Move it to the right hash and see what side. So he's going to streak on the left. And if we go left hash, is he still streaking on the left or is he going to the right now? Okay, so he's just always... Okay, so the best way, if you do want to do the halfback streak, which is good because that does get open a ton, is you do want to flip it and just always have your bunch on the left. But he's gonna be open on this, but the pressure got in. So flip, which you don't have to do that part, but post route on A, streak your halfback, change your protection if you want. Just do base, I guess. And then let's see. X, saw that a little late. And then Orgy makes that throw though. I was just looking at the halfback, honestly. But just setting up that high-low like that is really good against man coverage. And then having this halfback streak is really, really good against zone because all the zones are already either following that drag inside, you're up following the post, you got the wheel route to push them outside. Opens up really, really well for the halfback underneath. I didn't change the protection, so the guy just came free right off the right. Let's try this one more time because that's twice now the halfback was wide open. But we just didn't have time for it. He's gonna be open again. Yeah. So against zone, you can set it up like that. Against man, you don't even need to do that. You can just keep your halfback blocking and your drag or your post. One of those is probably get open, if not your wheel route for a touchdown. This pistol bunch is really, really good pass formation, and more people need to use it. And you should use the GoGo too. I love this playbook. I am so happy that even if it is just a copy and paste, I am so happy it is back in College Football 26. Let me know if you guys tried the GoGo last year. Are you planning on running it at all this year? I think I certainly am. Sorry, spoiler alert for the Online Dynasty. As soon as it becomes available, I think Old Dominion is going to be a real good option to run a playbook like this, so we might have to try it out. Let me know what you guys are planning. Thank you guys for checking this out. I will see you next time. Until then, take it easy.